Hi, everybody. Welcome to I guess this would be the fourth film session from Florida State season here. And just a quick heads up, recorded this last night with a live group of subscribers. And for whatever reason, the recording from last night didn't, there was a setting that somehow got flipped. And so that recording didn't come out well. So I'm actually re-recording this. This is why this is posted. Excuse me. This is why this is posted just a little bit later than usual. But gonna get this basically replicate everything that we did last night, including all the questions and anything else that we got. So this is going to be. I'm gonna, instead of as I did last night, I'm gonna start with a few plays that have come up on social media or that I've been asked about before. Moving into the first drive and going through that way. I want to jump around just a little bit to cover some of the more, what I regard as more significant plays initially. So we're going to go ahead and start here in the first drive of the second quarter for Florida State's offense. And we're going to focus almost entirely on the offense in this because, honestly, Florida State's defense looked pretty good against Northern Illinois. Northern Illinois looked bad overall on offense for most of the game. They made a bad offense look bad for the most part. A couple big plays that cost them touchdowns, but other than that, not a whole lot to worry about. And we'll cover what we need to from the defense. But this is going to be almost all offense, and we'll go ahead and start here. So this drive, we're going to see first they're in an unbalanced formation, and I got a question coming into this from Bert Bertolli, where he asked why they're doing so much unbalanced stuff in terms of having an otherwise eligible receiver covered. This is an example where he looks like he might be covered now. He's off enough, but we'll get to that in a few minutes on why they would do that. But it has to do with aligning the defense the way that you want. Either way, this is going to be just a standard zone play, and this is not bad, but this is part of what's going wrong with the running game a little bit right now. You got a nice little combo block here from Eberle and Arnold, and the way that this is designed is they're blocking down on this one technique. So this is zone. Everybody's stepping. You're gonna get a block right here, combo up. And the design of this is that Eberle kind of pushes the one technique to Arnold so that Arnold can get good leverage and turn him to where he wants him to go. What Arnold can't let happen is what happens here. This is good, okay. This is fine here, but Arnold needs to be getting his hand position into the right spot so that when Eberle moves on to get to the second level, Arnold is able to continue to keep that leverage. And instead, that's what you get. Eberle gets there to the second level, but Arnold lets him slip off. And the back is coming right through that little seam, reading A-gap to A-gap. He's got it, but now Arnold gets beat inside at the end there, lets him come off a little bit, and then you end up with a 3-yard gain instead of more. Now, it's possible that if you're running, B-gap to A-gap, which a lot of teams do in terms of zone, I think this inside zone, they're going A to A, which is an old Baylor thing. It's possible that with that, you'd see the back start here and work his way up. But no, this is designed to cut back, and generally speaking, you need to see the guard here hang on and just not let that defensive lineman cut through his arms there to get pressure. Now, this is what I really wanted to look at in this drive. Is they did a good bit of quad stuff, and this is generally RPO territory for Florida State. What you're looking at is you're doing a box count to see what the best possible read is. Do you have a situation where you've got 4 out here? Do you have numbers out here? Do you have numbers at the bottom, or have you emptied the box enough to have an advantage in the quarterback run game? Now, with how they did this, and how they did a number of their RPO things in this game, I'm not sure, and I just noticed the excellent Cinefunk, who which is where I got this particular file. He appears to have left out the N in his watermark this week, so there's that. Yeah, he thanks to him, by the way, for constantly doing this stuff. What he does in terms of cutting the game up is invaluable, but that's funny. Anyway, I'm not sure though. Like I said in the RPO game, I'm not sure that they're actually reading a lot of that right now. I'm not sure that they gave Francois the reads, the ability to read them every time, because it's either that he's so inconsistent with how he's choosing to do it, or they're just calling what might be an RPO, but they're saying, okay, what's normally an RPO, but throw the hitch, but throw this, or keep it. And, they may be giving the actual call instead of actually letting it be a read in some cases, because there are a number of times in this game where the read doesn't seem to make sense to me, but they're following that up with a series of, they're running read 1, read 2, and read 3 of the same play. And this series, we see the same thing. Read 1, read 2, read 3 of the same play. And you go, are they calling this to go read 1, read 2, read 3? Or is Francois just trying to kind of go through his reads that way and is just kind of randomly picking what he's doing? I'm not sure which one it is, to be honest, but my guess is that on a number of these, they're calling it. Now, the way that this would normally work is you've got quads here, and you're going to have either a screen up top based on the numbers. And here, this looks to me like a screen read up top, because you only have 2 guys within 5 yards of these 4. So if you throw to the back or to the outside receiver here and you have the others block, you've got numbers up here to get at least 5 yards, and that's what you're looking for. But if you like the cushion here, you could potentially take the little hitch on the outside. What I don't like about that, though, is you've got a deep safety over top of this, so he's going to come up hard. Well, this is what Francois sees. He sees the cushion, and he's going to take Gavin now. I actually like the run read better than doing that here. Even though the cushion looks friendly, this guy's going to be a hard corner because he's got help over top. So even though he's playing off, he's going to have the flat. But Francois takes what I think is actually a bad read here. But again, this may be a called hitch. A little bit of a hold there at the top, but it's quick enough out that you don't call it. Gets it out quick enough and accurately enough that Gavin is able to go and break a tackle, and that's good play. So, and it was good to see Gavin actually get loose in this game and get some confidence, because he can play once if he can show what he's been showing in practice for a while and get that confidently on the game field, then he can be a weapon. Now we see the same look, and now they come with a different defensive look to this. You notice previously they had a safety over top of Gavin, which allowed them to go hard corner, and then a deep safety over here. Now what you're going to see is, and by the way, on this one, you can see that they actually are blocking for the screen up top, right? So if there is an option, I like that option the best. But on this next one, they're not actually blocking here. And this is actually an overload blitz, bringing a safety in the Sam backer against Francois here. So the one thing that he should be looking at is, now you don't have the safety over top. You've got the cushion here. He's no longer going to be a hard corner. He has deep zone, so he's not going to come up. The place where I would go on this, because they're not blocking with the blocking for the screen here, this is actually a release where they're doing a little slip, which we've seen before from them. They're slipping downfield and trying to get verticals, so it's basically 3 verts over here. You see this, how they slip it, right? They're trying to get past here, and if you've got time, you might read that. And then you have the quarterback read game, and then you have the little hitch here. For me, knowing that they're not blocking screen up there, when you see this overload blitz, this should automatically check to your read being right here. He should be throwing exactly what he did to Gavin on the last play. Get it out to Gavin now. Instead, if this is an RPO, and I think it is, he inexplicably chooses to run this. The blitz and bringing the safety into the box means now that you have 7 on 5 plus 1 for the runner. You've got 2 guys that are going to come unblocked here. You cannot run this. The whole purpose of spreading like this is to force them to get guys out of the box so that you can run it against even numbers. You're trying to run 5 blockers plus the back on, 5-man box. At most, get a 6th man kind of on the edge of the box so that he's the guy that's responsible for the for making the tackle, so that you're getting to the second level. But instead, he throws when on the prior down when they're back, and now this one should be an instant throw read. Right? He's sinking. Get it to Gavin now. He's one-on-one out here. If he's able to break that tackle like on the last play, then he's going for a while here. Instead, he runs this. And you see the little tackle pull here, little tackle power, and he actually has a lane, believe it or not. Pretty good job by Arnold to get out there. Good job by Scott to pull and get on that backer. And if Francois is able to hit it just a little bit better, that could be a bigger play. Now, the thing is, he gets kind of tripped up in the backfield by one of the unblocked guys, which is why you shouldn't be running this. But I'm not sure if that's a called draw or not, but if it isn't, then I don't like the read. And here we see, again, they're back to another look here where they're going to kind of aggressively play this against the screen, right? Now you have 4 guys inside, you have 3 guys inside 5 yards, and the safety's not as deep. They're playing over here tighter. So the one place you shouldn't go here is to the screen now. And again, you've got the safety who's going to kind of, he's over the top a little bit. And so they're playing hard corner. You don't really have anything over here. So your best bet here is the run read. He's out of the box. They're tight to these guys. He's tight enough. Now you have the 5-on-5 you want. So now it's the run read. And he runs it again. And that's the correct read, gets 4 yards. That's not too bad. So given that he actually did read this again and read it into a run read here, I think this is still, all 3 of these are RPOs. 2 of the 3 are the wrong read. And it would be just much better if he's reading the numbers correctly. And this is just a matter of counting the box and recognizing what's going on. So from here we get to 3rd and 3. Get a little bit of a jet sweep action. And I think, and this is going to be a recurring theme throughout today's film session. I think something, and I haven't found it yet. I don't know what it is, but I think Florida State is tipping when it's a jet sweep versus when it's not. Because whenever they're jet sweeping, there are guys way out there. Everybody's out on the edge. And if you watch this, when he comes in motion, he's yelling jet sweep, jet sweep. He's already headed to the edge. He's getting out to the edge, and he's coming down hard to fill the alley already, right? So everybody's going to the jet already, and so this is covered from the beginning. Now Nooney needs to run this a little better. He's getting too deep here. He needs to get horizontal and up this way to get wider quicker instead of arcing as much. He needs to get there. But either way, this is dead now because these guys are already headed to the jet. And, Akers needs to hit his block. This is on Akers too. Akers needs to get wider and get on this guy's outside shoulder. If Akers gets on the outside shoulder there, then rather than whiffing, Akers whiffs, that throws it further off. But the safety's coming down. Everybody knows this is jet. Now, later on, later on in our film session, but earlier in the game, and later in the game, when they're running fake jet and they're handing it off, nobody's paying attention to the jet. They're tipping this. Something is happening where Florida State is tipping when it's actual jet versus when it's fake jet run. And they need to figure out what that is and get that amended so the defenses can't key on that and they can use that jet as a constraint. But that's not what you want to see. Now, I'm going to go to the next, I'm going to skip to the next thing here, and this is going to be the big play in the third quarter, where Florida State gave up the long seam route here. So what we have is a 3rd and 13. Florida State is in Delta package, which again is their long yardage, their passing down package, trying to get more confusion, more pass rush out of some different fronts. But basically having more defensive backs on the field. You've got your lighter, quicker pass rushers as down linemen. And you're, varying your coverages a lot more. This, to me, appears to be a Tampa 2. Now, we don't have the all-22, and I don't have the call sheet, so I'm going off of the best I can in terms of what I'm seeing from the defense here. And there's a little bit, it appears, if it is Tampa 2, there's a couple players that are not exactly in the right position. If it's something else, then they're in position enough that looks like Tampa 2 that, well, I'm not sure what to think about that. So I'm gonna treat this as though it's basically Tampa 2, because that's what we see. And what that means is the corners are going to be responsible for the flat, and they're going to try to squeeze the receivers wide or force them inside to the 2 deep safeties who are basically going to be on the hash or just outside the hash. And they each have deep halves. And then what you're trying to do, that's a normal cover 2. What you're trying to do then is you have a middle linebacker, which in this case is not actually a Mike linebacker. It's Hamza Nasiruddin as the extra DB in the Delta package, who's going to try to get to as deep a middle position as possible to take away that deep seam so that offenses can't just run somebody right inside that deep safety in the seam between the 2 safeties and split that. That's what Tampa 2 is trying to do. And basically what happens here is there are about 3 players plus the pass rush that don't quite do their job well enough, and it ends up not working. Now you notice Hamza's lined up on the line of scrimmage here. He has the B gap in run as a run fit if this is a run. And so they play action. He's got to honor it. Now he gets back. He recognizes that it's play action and is getting back to that deep zone as quick as he can, or to that intermediate, middle zone as quick as he can. Kind of runs into the umpire, runs past him. That's a tough ask for him to get deep from that position. So that's number 1. That's a lot to ask Hamza, and he could get a little deeper here. He needs to, but that's a lot to ask from him. Now 20 here. And again, he's been somebody I've loved to watch all year. 20 could be, he could have had a little bit better job here. He could have done a little bit better job here in terms of what we're seeing. And I'm trying to, yeah, there we go. Okay, he could have done just a little bit more. I would have liked to have seen Woodby. What you're doing is he's reading, he's seeing if this is a vertical release, he's carrying the vertical as long as he can while looking for anything that's going to curl up. Now, if there's no curl, if there's no crosser underneath that he has to worry about, then you carry that vertical until it's no longer vertical. And so he starts to bend in, and you notice that Woodby settles here a little bit. He starts to settle, and I think he settles too early. So he needs to carry that vertical a little further. Stick with him, and he's over the top. The other thing that I think goes wrong here is, if you notice, Stanford Samuels is way deep, way over the top, and he's way outside. So he's out here. Instead of staying, I think his landmark should be in Tampa 2, more right here. He might be deep, but he should be still maybe backpedaling a little bit and being closer to the hash where he can drive on this and potentially try to break it up. But I think he's too deep and too far outside. Now, if they're transitioning to a cover 3 here, which is possible, in that case, you'd have Hamza, who would be responsible for the true deep middle, in which case that's really on him for not getting back. And that's an even tougher ask. I'm not sure he's fast enough to actually get there, given that this guy's taken off from the snap. I don't know that it's possible for him to get there. But in any case, it's either that Samuels is too far off the hash early on in Tampa 2. And again, what tells me that this is probably Tampa 2 is you look at where Fagan is. Fagan's right here. That's where I'd like to see Samuels being right here, a little deeper, because this guy's running more of a skinny rather than coming across, which is what Fagan's reacting to. But you'd like to see Samuels a little more on the hash so that he can drive on this. Now, again, that's my read of this as far as what's going on. Instead, you've got their receiver who gets wide open, and there's plenty of time, by the way. You notice they got a 3-man rush, and they're nowhere near the quarterback. That he's got 7-on-7 time here. I mean, this is a 7-on-7 throw, no problem. Gets it out there, and then Florida State's secondary kind of looks slow here. I mean, I'm not used to Florida State getting run away from in the secondary quite like this, and he just walks away from every one of those guys, and yeah, wow, that's not what I'm used to seeing. So. Yeah, now we get the 2-point conversion, but I want to show this from the back angle. Here we go. So you notice Hamza has this gap in run support. They get the little show the ball in play action. Hamza recognizes pass. He's got to get deep and across. And again, I think Woodby needs to do a better job of carrying this vertical. Woodby needs to be about 2 yards deeper. He needs to be right in here on the hip, instead of settling there. And then you notice how wide Samuels has gotten. I think he needs to be right in here on the hash, and there you go. So then they don't look very fast. I mean, maybe this Northern Illinois kid is a real sprinter, but dang. And they don't look real fast. That's a little concerning. All right. So from there, I want to go to another offensive play. We're going to get to second quarter here. I'm going to go to a later series before we get to some stuff that at the beginning of the game. Let's see, second quarter. All right, here we go. So second quarter, and then we'll pick back up with the first drive after this series. But there are a few things here I want to cover. First of all, this is the same formation they ran a lot against Northern Illinois, and this gets to the question that I got from Bert to ask about breaking down in the film session in advance here. And this has to do with, you notice you've got 2 wide receivers out here, but he's covered, so he's ineligible in order to allow a jet sweep action from this side. And sometimes you'd have a tight end here or whatever on this other side that would be what they're working with. But what they're trying to do is this is an unbalanced formation, and you're giving up an eligible receiver in order to get the formation that you want. And the question is, why would you do this? Why would you telegraph effectively that this is going to be a run play, most likely, by sacrificing an eligible receiver? Now, there is some truth to that, but the other thing is that when you do that, you are opening the possibility of doing some stuff with the jet and other things from this side that force the run fits up front to have to account for a little bit more out here, and you may get some shifts in terms of of the balance of the defense that give you some advantageous angles to block in the running game. So you're willing to sacrifice that. And if you're a heavy screen team out here, they typically have to bring a guy out to, even though he's not covering him exactly, he has to be out here in order to honor him like he's an offensive lineman. He has to come out and actually worry about getting blocked in the screen game, so they still have to get him out of the box. So that's the reason you do it. And they actually do throw out of this look a little bit on the second drive, which we'll see. So we get the jet here, and I want you to notice how many people actually pay attention to the jet. On the previous jet sweep action, as soon as he comes, you're seeing get down, get down, get down, get down, and he's coming arcing out. You're getting somebody coming down. Why in this case, nobody believes that this is a jet? How many people are stepping to the jet? Nope. Everybody stays inside. So the jet is supposed to force him to widen, Get him out here widening to honor the jet so that you get advantageous angles inside. It serves to block as an extra blocker effectively without blocking somebody. Nope. They are sitting on this. I'm telling you, it appears for all Florida State, everything Florida State's doing here, I'm telling you, it looks like they're tipping this. Something is tipping defenses off. They know when it's fake. They know when it's not a jet. They know when it is a jet, and that's something they're going to have to figure out. So this is actually something I'm really pleased to see. So first of all, good protection here. Got a 5-man protection, 4-man rush on 2nd and 10. Now this is when Florida State's been having the most trouble blocking. Well, they do a good job here. Now Bello kind of whiffs a little bit on the defensive end. Not the best pass set. I'd like to see him set just a little bit better. He doesn't move his feet, and so he does have a little bit of allow a little bit of penetration, and a better end gets a little bit deeper there. But Francois is able to get rid of this on rhythm. This is just a little go route. Gavin does a great job of getting over the top and doing so with sufficient room to allow Francois to drop this in. And that's about as well as Francois has thrown this ball since he's been at Florida State. And then Gavin does some, this is really good technique by Gavin here as well. He maintains enough space to allow that ball to drop in, and then the hands are late. He gets the hands up late, and he doesn't catch over his inside shoulder as much as he catches over his helmet, which doesn't allow the defender's hands to punch through this spot. Instead, the ball's coming out here. He shields it with that big body and is able to bring that catch in. That's really good technique. It's exactly what you want to see, and then he's a big boy. So, yeah, when he's confident, when he's able to show some of that, that's a lot. I'm encouraged and excited to see what he's able to do as he builds confidence, because he can be a real weapon, and he's been able to do a lot of this stuff in practice, but it hasn't always transferred to the game field because he's been a confidence guy, and this is something that Dave Kelly has talked about in the past, that some of the receivers that were on the roster when he arrived just needed to have someone believe in him. And at this point, it's good to see that he's getting Gavin to play with a little bit more confidence. And if he's able to do that opens up a lot in Florida State's offense. So now we get, again, trips to the field. Little trips bunch to the field. And they're releasing out of that to get a vertical on the outside. Little wheel on the outside. So wheel, vertical, and then a little seam. What you're going to try to find here, ideally, is the seam in between the backers, or something coming to Gavin on the little vertical there. But I don't think there really is anything here. This is not, I think he's trying to go for McKitty, but I'm not sure he didn't get lucky here by this ball being batted down. He's got a little bit of pressure, but that's okay. I mean, the amount of pressure that's here is decent. And what they did here is they helped Bello with a little chip from the running back, right? And you could see, they got beat up top. This is not the best by Brady Scott at right tackle. Get a little whiff, but Francois is better on his spot. Instead of against Syracuse, he was back here a lot. And when you did have a whiff by the tackle was not able to recover and push by because Francois was too deep. Here, he's on his spot. He's able to step up, avoid the pressure, but you get it deflected. Now, again, I'm not sure that this isn't broken up or even intercepted right here, because he's throwing into here. I'm not sure that this is going to work out real well, even if it isn't broken up. So not a whole lot there in my view. So now we're getting a little bit of motion. Motion to trips to this side. And actually, this was one of the reasons I wanted to watch this drive, because this came up as well in terms of some questions. take a look at Nooney Murray here. So this is actually a zone read RPO. So it's really a triple option. It's just, instead of running at Georgia Tech style with everybody coming from the backfield and you have a pitch man out here, this is your pitch man on the option. He's running a bubble as the pitch man, and you're reading the end just like you would in triple option. And then your pitch man is out here. So Francois does a good job reading the end. The end is coming hard. Shoulders are toward the running back. This is a pull read for sure. So Francois' pull read, and now you see that this guy is covering the quarterback, so this should be a pitch read. This should be throw the bubble. So Francois is getting his eyes to the bubble. He recognizes that the eyes are to the bubble. The problem is that this other backer here is on McKitty and comes down really hard and blows McKitty up right into Nooney Murray. And so when Francois gets his eyes to Nooney, Nooney should be looking for the ball. Francois is trying to throw it, and Nooney feels like he's about to get hit. He feels McKitty getting blown up into him and looks away. Now, Francois is about to make the throw. He recognizes he's not looking. He can't make the throw. And so now he just takes off and runs, and then he gets up and yells. Now, some people have had the impression, from what I can tell, based on some questions and all that have come in and some discussion on social media and all that Nooney is doing the wrong thing here, that he should be, coming up and blocking or whatever for Francois, and that Francois is yelling at Nooney for that. That's not what I see. Nooney's actually doing the right thing. He's saying, hey, what do I do here? Because the real problem is that McKitty gets blown up. McKitty gets blown up here, and Nooney feels it, and he's got to find a way to step up a little bit and keep his eyes to the quarterback, if anything. But the quarterback's trying to get it there. What's happening is Francois recognizes, I need to get rid of this, and come on, make the block. So if he's yelling at anybody here, I think he's yelling at McKitty. Either way, he's yelling at these guys that they need to do their job to make it so that he can actually get it out there. But if there's anything that Nooney could do here, if he recognizes, if he feels that there's pressure here, keep your eyes to the quarterback and step up a step so that he can kind of pitch the ball to you and you can get upfield. But that's really not on Nooney. And those of you who've listened to me for a couple of years know that I'm not exactly going to generally defend Murray all that much. But in this case, Murray's actually not the problem. That got blown up a little bit by the outside flat player who blew McKitty up and didn't allow that to happen. And Murray's still out there, by the way, you notice. So it's not a situation where he got pulled for not doing something or doing something right or whatever. So here you go. Get a little bit of a max protect, trying to hit downfield on 3rd and 9. And this is where max protect runs into its limitations. So 3rd and 9, you don't want to get Francois hit, so you keep everybody in. Not a bad idea, right? And pretty good by Bello on the outside here. Bello had a good game. And again, Northern Illinois' defensive line, I think, is better than Syracuse's. So, they made some real strides here. But not bad from Bello. Up top, a little bit of pressure, but not too much. But they're in max protect, so they've only released 3 wide receivers. Defense knows they need 9 yards. There's nothing available here. And he's throwing this in probably the worst possible spot. So this is the problem with max protect. They're dropping 7, and you're trying to get 3 open against 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If you're going to throw this is not the spot to throw it, because you've got one guy here. You're trying to fit it in here. You're fitting it basically into 3 guys, and if you want to count him 4, he's kind of out of it. The only real option here is right here, throwing this little corner route to Gavin. Right now, get it out to Gavin and try to throw it to the sideline and maybe let him go get it. But this is a little deceptive because actually this safety is over top of that. But I think he made the wrong read. Either way, when you're in max protect against dropping 7 or 8, a lot of times you're going to wind up without a whole lot of good options to throw. And so you may be able to protect there, but now you've given up your ability to get somebody free. Again, I think the best read here is Gavin. So get your head down here and throw out to the corner. Throw it a little bit flatter to keep that away from the safety, and throw him out here. That's your best bet, I think, to throw him out this way. Which, by the way, this corner is not really doing his job. He should be. There's nobody sinking. There is a chance that Gavin makes a catch here if you look at him, because the corner is out of position. The corner doesn't finish sinking with him. He covers grass. So either way, that's a little bit of what you're going to see in terms of max protect in those longer yardage situations. You're going to have to find ways to use those big receivers to get something out of it. All right, so let's go ahead and go back to the first drive of the game and get through some of the material that is most encouraging here. So first drive here. Now, those of you who listen to the podcast regularly know and follow me on Twitter know that I've been saying for a while that if they want to protect the quarterback better, the number one thing that they need to be able to do is throw a little bit more and a little bit better on first down when teams can't just load up against the run or up against the pass and pin their ears back and rush the passer. If you can throw on first down, then and keep them, it keeps them off balance. They have to be playing run up here. They can't just get upfield and get after the quarterback. They have to be honest and play run, which gives you some options in the passing game. So this is how they came out in the first quarter, and I think it's one of the things that jump-started the offense. So here we've got all hitches, and I think Francois makes the wrong read. So he throws to Nooney Murray right away. Get 3 yards, but I think that is absolutely the wrong read. Here's why. You've got a backer who's in the box here. He's about 5 yards out from inside of Murray. Murray's going to stop on the numbers. He can kind of get out there. And you notice when he throws this, he's sinking. He's throwing to a tight window, and Murray kind of catches and goes down. That's tight. I don't like that. What I like, where I think this ball should be coming, is right here to Terry at the bottom. If you're going to go to a guy in terms of the one of the inner guys, I still like McKitty just a little bit better here. Now, I think the reason he's throwing here is this is the shortest throw. He's taking the easiest throw in terms of getting it out short and quick, right? That's okay. But take a look at what we've got at the bottom in terms of cushion. He's playing 9 yards off. 5-yard route, playing 9 yards off, and he's sinking. The right throw here is right here. Get it out to Terry, and there's nobody near him. Make this throw now. Should be coming out right now to Terry. Nobody near him. That ball comes out, and Terry's got a chance to make a one-on-one guy miss. And this is at minimum a 5-yard gain and probably more. Instead, you're 2nd and 7, which is not ideal. And here you've got 3 guys line up on the line of scrimmage. Watch right here. Get off, step off. There we go. Now you're better. And I like this as a scripted second play here. They releasing the back into the flat. You notice what happens with the defense here. Everybody's stepping down to try to take this away, right? And instead of this being the usual throw it to the back in the flat versus that look, it is a stutter and slip. And the guy that's responsible for Gavin is coming down hard. Gavin does a good job of selling it. And if Francois is able to lead this just a little bit more to the inside here, little bit more in here, Gavin is able to catch this more on the run, and this probably scores. But overall, still good play call, good execution for that second play. Now we get the unbalanced look where you've got ineligible here, and you're going to see the jet. Notice what happens. They know this isn't jet. Somebody's tipping something. Dang it. Look at this. This right here is your edge player, your contain player. He's got a little bit of contain responsibility here. Neither one of them honors the jet at all. Watch.
He's coming inside now. Already. Before it's a jet, he's already stepping inside. They know this isn't jet. Now, some of this is that on jet, he's arcing. So they're reading that. And they're reading that he's stepping out. But that right there, if everybody's stepping inside and getting that, you're not getting out of the jet what you're hoping to get, which is to keep him honest and keep him out of the box and maybe get a little bit of widening on the inside to get your angles. They're not getting any of that. So they're going to have to figure out what's going on in terms of why teams are not honoring the jet fake there. Either way, it's a good run by Akers. And this is good line play here. Notice everybody's stepping. This is just inside zone. And you get Arnold locks up his guy. You get Brady Scott getting a free release to the backer, gets the backer. This is good line play. Right here, that right there is pretty good. And if this guy is honoring the jet, he's able to hit this really hard right up into here. But because he's not honoring the jet, he forces him more inside to that second level player. So Akers gets as much out of it as he can, but that's good line play. You got to be pleased with that. So now you get motion back into the H-back set. Now this is that same counter tray that Jimbo ran a bunch with Dalvin Cook. Looks good here. Arnold pulls, a little sluggish on the pull, but is able to get the hook on that. McKitty's able to get his guy on the edge, but ultimately it's the backside. It appears that they're RPOing this, and I'm not sure who the RPO is actually going to be, but Gavin is running this like it's an RPO. He's running a little hitch, and then from there is trying to get the block, but he's unable to make the block, and ultimately that's what stops it. So honestly, if this is me, I'm looking at this and I'm going, maybe we shouldn't RPO that on that side against that look. We need to get that receiver on the corner, because Akers, if you're able to get this corner blocked right here, Akers is off to the races. Corner comes up and makes one little play, and you see Gavin clapping. He's mad. But this is basically an impossible ask from the receiver who's got a plus split. Corner's inside, receiver turns to look, sees that ball's been handed off. Now he's got to transition quickly to be a blocker, and by the time he does that, there's no chance to get him. And this is why they're struggling in the run game to get big plays. This one should have been a big play. Right here, this is really good from the offensive line. Man, that is exactly what you want in this play. And if you get a hat on him, these are the closest guys you've got to Akers, who's going to be hitting that sideline. And we all remember Dalvin Cook running up that sideline on this same play, but instead, second level player coming up, making the tackle, and you get, 4-yard gain instead of a 3-yard gain instead of a 40-yard gain. That's how close they are right now on some of this stuff. This should have hit, but Akers doesn't have the help there to make that play. All right. Once again, we see zone. This time, again, an unbalanced set. So you've got McKitty is covered, but out here you've got a little RPO out here. And this appears to be a read where Francois is reading the end man here. So we got a zone read here. And this is inside zone. And Akers hits that well, but I don't like his angle at the end here. This is, again, good from the offensive line. They won on this play, and they won big. Nice job by Minshew. Nice job by 54, by Eberle, to get that guy sealed. Bello does a good job. Akers needs to hit this on a full sprint and try to get to the outside. He knows where his help is coming from in the second level. Don't get vertical quite as quickly. Your second level help is coming downhill from here. You're going to get the first down either way. Get here and see if you can hit that sideline and make him catch you. Instead, he turns it up And he gets the 2 yards, but he could have gotten more. He left some meat on the bones there. Now you get the same look out of the quads look. And this is the same thing we saw already, where this is an RPO. I actually like the screen game down here as much as anything, but because you have no safety over the top here, this is an acceptable read. I like this read just fine. It's okay. This could be a run read as well. He could do either one, but because you've got him off, this is fine. You're going to get 5 yards on this. Throw in the little hitch. Boom. Gavin does that, and they don't get 5. They only get 3, and that's part of the problem. You should be getting 5 on that. But if I look at the run read there, and you've got a chance on the run as well. So it's not as clean as I'd like on any of those reads, but Gavin's got to get a little bit more on that. Little play action, and this is a possum concept, or what they call a possum concept at UNC. They call it bear butt at Clemson. This is another RPO, but on this one they're reading this guy. What you're doing, you're running a 5-step little skinny post type route where he's got to get across the face of the corner and work his way in here. And all you're doing is you're reading the curl zone player. If he stays back and stays deep, you hand this off. If he's coming up for run support, then you throw this. So Francois got to get his eyes right here, and then you're going to try to get inside with that 5-step route. Now Francois reads it correctly because he's stepping down. So now you got an 8-man box. You don't want to run on that. Gavin turns it inside. I don't like the route. I don't think he runs it very well. And then he does a decent job breaking up the interception initially because the corner sits on this really well. They're playing way inside. Corner recognizes the inside route, and he keeps his leverage, drives on the ball, and then Gavin lets that get kicked up in the air. And that's something that as a receiver, when you're trying to protect your quarterback here, get your eyes around, that ball's potentially intercepted, bat it down or try to do whatever you can to get it down rather than letting it go up. And they got lucky here because this should have been a catch. They fight for it and they drop it. If that's intercepted, I think this game goes very, very differently because this team has practiced better than they've played, but they've really struggled with confidence. And, this would have been another oh, here we go again. And instead, they drop it and they get another chance. But again, with Gavin, I'd like to see this stemmed just a little bit more at the leverage of the corner. And the other thing is, what I teach my guys on this is when you stem this, at least in the last 2 steps, try to drive vertical to try to force him off of that inside leverage just a little bit more to try to get him to honor that you're going deep. So turn that in across his face off of a little harder stick. And what Gavin does here is he just kind of drives inside without any stick. Corner plays this perfectly. That's great technique. And that's what you get. Now, this, by the way, is the this bear butt concept is what Mike Williams and Deshaun Watson ran a bunch with a lot of success. A big-bodied receiver, you should be able to do a lot there, but it's not located that well, and Gavin doesn't run the best route. They got lucky. So now we move to the next one. Same look, same play. Only this time they stay back. You've got a 7-man box, so you hand it off. Hand it off. Akers hits it and hits it hard. Again, the offensive line locks up here. This is really good. And this is actually not the same play. It's a similar play. This is duo. So you've got a tight end and an H-back here that allow you to double team on the way up to the second level. These guys here. So you've got this is one of the things the Cowboys run the most with Zeke. You got tight ends, double the end man on the line of scrimmage, and then you get double team on each defensive tackle. Double team on the 1 and double team on the 3 technique here. And then you got your single from the tackle. Now what Akers is doing on this is his job is to read the Mike linebacker's path. So if the Mike comes hard here, then you're going to come here. If the Mike is coming into here, you're going to, what you see Zeke do a bunch, you see him little jump cut and get here. Le'Veon Bell runs this a lot as well. Steelers like to run it. So this is excellent on one tackle, excellent on the other defensive tackle. They're winning with those two double teams, and that's a lot of space. And the backers, he's reading the backers. Backers missed their gaps. So again, if this backer hits here, then he dances to right there. If this backer hits here, if this backer hits that hole, then he pops it and skips elsewhere. Instead, this opens up nicely, and he gets the most out of this you can. That's a good run. Excellent job on duo there. Now, this is actually interesting because this is basically a fullback. They've got the H-back in basically fullback position, and now they're going to run ISO. So this is just ISO. Standard I formation run. And it's not the best blocked, and you're running it against an 8-man box. So it's just not enough. And this is interesting because, again, Taggart's not as much a run on an 8-man box guy. I mean, he's going to run it a lot, but again, you're usually going to RPO that. I think Francois makes the wrong read because if you look, this has an RPO option right here. Francois should be throwing that down to Gavin right now. Why? He's in here. If he's stepping out here, then you maybe take this. But because you've got an 8-man box and a tight safety, this needs to come out here. So this is the wrong read by the quarterback. Notice there's nobody out with Gavin. Make that read. Again, it doesn't appear that he's reading it at all. And it may be that the coaches are telling him just to give here. But either way, I don't like it. So we get the same thing. We get a different look here. Now we get the youngster on here. This is Harrison out of the nasty split, tight split thing. And now we get the jet sweep. And what are they doing? Watch the defense. Jet, 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 jet. They're all headed to the jet. They know it's jet that's getting tipped. Somehow they know it's jet. In this case, it doesn't matter very much because they've got, watch this block by McKitty. Boom! Sit down. Love that. Nice physicality there. Bello gets outside, and then this is why you like those big wide receivers on the outside as well. Gavin, boom! Nice job by Gavin. And then Bello gets out in front. Akers leads the way here with a nice block on the corner, creates the edge. And then Harrison is really smooth. That is really fast, really smooth. He barely looks like he's running. Now we get the same basic look that we got on the other one where it looks like it could be ISO, but the previous one they were in the pistol. So this is what makes me think that maybe they're not maybe they're not reading this. I mean, it's possible that they're not, that right now that things aren't comfortable enough that they're reading this, but this should be a read either way. And again, you've got 7 and then 8 right here. He's marginal, but with how they played this before, the right read is definitely get it to your wider number 2 guy on the bubble. And that's what Francois does. This is what should have happened on the ISO that they ran the last one. Now, this is not ISO in terms of the run play that's packaged with it. This is that little counter tray. But he pulls it correctly, gets it to the bubble, and this is why it should have been the bubble before. Look at that. All that space. And if he makes a little bit better throw and doesn't throw it so low, it's even better. But Gavin's able to get out there, and that's a minimum of 4. 4. Now he makes a move. That's a good run. Nice big receiver. Now you got first down. That's easy. Again, this is the stuff that they can do better on offense. You think about it, you got the same look here. Instead, you hand it off and you get 2nd and 10. What happens if you just go ahead and you run that here? You probably get, 8, 9? This offense could look so much better with just a little bit of different decision making there. Do this more in the right contexts, and suddenly things open up and it just looks so much easier because you're not butting your head against the wall all the time. So here we've got a bust. This is again that little counter, and in this case, Minshew and the guards had trouble on the poles today, in this game. They really did. They were not fast enough, and a lot of times they just couldn't get there. In this case, Minshew has the pull. His job is to pull flat and to take this defensive end. The end gets in so quickly that Minshew whiffs on him, and the whiff not only blows up Minshew, but it blows up the lead blocker who's trailing, and then Akers, it gets blown up. There's just nowhere to go. And that, by the way, hurt right there. You can see how Akers' legs kind of go limp for a second. Boom. That one, I can tell you right now, based on experience, that one stung a little bit. That was a little bit of helmet to helmet. Not real. That actually could have been called targeting. See how he's hitting with the crown of his head? Even with that's spearing is what it is, and that's what you need to get out of the game is spearing, and that right there, yeah, that one hurt. I can tell you that. But this is designed to get either a kick out and then a lead, or if he's able to get a pin to get around, just like we just saw. But instead, one guy blows up three, and you got nothing. So now you go back to the possum or bear butt type concept here. But without the read, you got the little skinny, and again, look at how far inside the corner is playing. That's a tough ask. It's tough to do, and Gavin rotates, tries to get in there. These corners are good. They sat on, or at least disciplined. Corner sat on it. Gavin gets one hand on it, bats it in the air, and they get so lucky. So I'll take it, but. This is something that I think was a real shot in the arm in terms of the team believing, okay, this is our day. So now you get, you feel pretty good about yourselves. So let's go ahead and skip the 3 and out. Defense does their job. Get to the second series. 1st and 10, run the ball. And again, this is close to an offset eye look out of the pistol. And we hadn't seen a whole lot of pistol out of Willie Taggart's offense previously. But they definitely adjusted to go to pistol more in this game. Got a little bit on the edge here. And what happened here is you've got a little double team between the tackle and the tight end on the defensive end. And there was a miscommunication because both guys let go and get to the second level. I'm pretty sure that actually McKitty is right here and Brady Scott is wrong. But both guys, this is fine. This is blocked great. If he's able to hit this edge with the lead, you feel good. But the problem is both Scott and McKitty are on the double team. This is a combo block. You work from here up to the second level. And McKitty goes to get to the second level, and Scott goes to get to the second level, and then you let the guy on the first level go. And then he's the guy that makes the play. If you don't let that happen, now you've got a nice little bit on the edge. And nothing. That's the difference right there. Again, everything else was blocked well. That's a little miscommunication. You clean that up, and all of a sudden you've got Patrick getting right here without that leakage, and he's got a guy leading. Got a nice job by the receiver here. Patrick's up into here before he gets touched. So here we have a little play action Y cross. They love this concept. Nooney on the crosser. Nice job. A little play action. Good protection. Again, Scott, not a natural tackle, but, again, at most, he's forcing a guy to take enough time to beat him that there's time. And they're helping out a little bit on the left side with McKitty. McKitty does a nice job here of helping Bello pin the defensive end inside in a max protect look, and this should not be that open with 3 on 7, but you know what? You'll take it. First down run. Actually, I'm not sure I like this. I think the read is okay. You got 5 on 5, 5 on 6 at most. That's got to hit. This is on Eberle. Eberle works his way from the combo. He's under control by Arnold there, and Arnold, you notice, does a much better job of turning this guy out than he did on the one that we looked at earlier, where this guy was able to come in, but that's partly because they're working to the outside, and you've got a linebacker who's responsible for that gap, and now Eberle just whiffs on the second level. Stay under control, young man. Keep your hips low, stay under control. If he's able to get a hand on this, that's how close that is. You get a hand there, and now Patrick is right here untouched. He might break this tackle or just be able to plant and go. That's that close to being a really big play. One miss. That's football. So here we have little RPO, and this is good read. There's one guy over two. He's inside too much, and you've got your third guy out here. Two guys are 10 yards off. You take this yardage now. Get it out now. And this is easy. Now Nooney needs to put that ball away, or maybe you just find some other guys to play a little bit more instead of Murray there. Maybe you get Harrison a few more reps. Got that little unbalanced look, and running a little pin and pull. Minshew again, not real good on the pull here, but again, I can live with this. That right there, offensive line, that screenshot, I'll take it. Getting some vertical displacement here on the front side. Well, actually, that's the back side because he's cutting back, but it's designed as a cutback run, and he's able to get vertical real nice. And Patrick's doing a very good job of just getting the yards that are there, maximizing his yardage. Nice job by McKitty, blocking down on the end here. That's solid work from McKitty. McKitty has really played well this year. Brady Scott works his way down, works his way up to the backer, does a good job of getting that done, and now you get a nice 8-9 yard run on first down. That's football, man. That's Willie Taggart. That's what Taggart wants. Get a little same thing here. Goes back to the same play. Minshew, watch Minshew. Boom! Little pancake for Minshew. Same play. Scott gets on his man. Once again, Patrick being a bully. I can live with this kind of football right here. This is good line play. Haven't seen that much from Florida State this year. Good line play. Good run from the running back. Plenty of space. Now you're going to see the same formation to the boundary. And they run it to the other side. Same play. Only this time you have a backer that gets in there, is able to walk in right there. Mike Arnold coming around, and Arnold didn't have his best game. Coming around, you're leading up into the hole. His job is to hit this backer from this point, and he just whiffs. He's trying to hit him with that inside hand, and he just missed him completely. Whoops. Be nice to be in shape. So now they take Patrick out, and they run the same formation to the boundary. They're going off the same thing, same formation. They're getting the same look. And why do you run that where you've got an unbalanced look? Because you might just be able to hit that other side. They run the counter instead of running it to they'd been running to the play side or to the strong side the whole way. Now they run the counter to the weak side. End steps in, he sees the action, steps in, and you've got an easy walk in. That was way too easy. Nice work. 2 solid drives. Feeling pretty good about yourselves right now. Nice from the defense here. Get a 3 and out. Once again, how much do we see them honoring the jet sweep? They're not. You get maybe a little bit of lip service to it from here, but they are all on the running back here. He's coming down to it a little bit here against the jet sweep action. But in the box, they know that this is not jet sweep. I think they're tipping it. Somebody's giving it up. Watch here. Watch the edge here. He's not stepping to the jet at all. Now watch on the next play. Sees jet and oh, there it is. He's out there already. Blows it up. Thing is, it doesn't matter because they block it well. Nice job by McKitty. Nice little chip by Akers. Akers gets his hands in there, and then a nice job by Nooney to actually get some yardage out of it. But again, they knew when it was going to be the fake jet, and they knew when it was going to be the jet. I don't like seeing that. Now this one, there's a bust. They bring 5, and this is a protection that Florida State had to fix over the course of the game because there's just not enough to block on this side. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to run that play action little counter, and what you're trying to go for eventually is getting this wheel up the sideline to McKitty. That's something that that Taggart really likes. But the problem is when you're pulling this guard, now you only have one guy to block that backside, right? So you got one here, one here, one here, one guy to block the backside. And he takes the innermost guy as he should. Quarterback has that outside guy now. And good job by Francois of evading it, but the thing is, you can't evade this every time. Sometimes you just they're going to have to figure out against this look a way to make sure that guy gets blocked. And really what's probably going to have to happen here, and the adjustment that they appear to make later, is when you see this kind of front against this protection, Eberle actually has to reach back all the way to here. Then Bello has to take the outside guy. Arnold has to get into here. Scott has to go here, and then you get the guard on the outside guy here. That's still not ideal because that's a huge reach. It's a big ask for the center. And we'll see later on that's the play on which Eberle missed his that he had that snap problem at the end of the first half, and is on this protection because it's asking a lot. And honestly, they're going to have to figure out a way to handle that if teams are going to show that front. I'm not exactly sure what adjustment they're going to be able to make if teams do that. Now this is just good running. So again, Jet. Does he have any inclination that he should be getting out here against the Jet? Nope. Running straight downhill. Every one of these guys straight downhill, and we get a whiff from the center again. Eberle steps up. Not bad from Arnold. Stays on his guy. But Eberle, ole, 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 ole. Get your hands on him, man. Get your hands on him. If he gets his hands on this guy, Patrick is able to get this seam, and now you're one-on-one with him in the open field, and you get a first down. But it doesn't matter because Patrick is a bully, and he's going to get first down anyway. That's good running. Not great blocking on the interior, but quality run from Patrick. Now here we have something probably a little bit of an inverted veer. Or at least I don't know if he's reading here or not. If he is reading, he should probably keep this, but I don't know that he's reading. I'm not sure why Scott just walks by here, but he does hit that backside. Minshew getting to the next level, looking for help. And here's the problem again. Same play. He's looking in the hitch, inside leverage corner. Comes unblocked. The reason that is a no gain is because Gavin can't get to him. You got to block that guy. So unless that's a true RPO, and I don't think there's any reason for it to be at the top, that needs to be a block. And again, he's doing his job here. I think he's doing his assignment. But to me, that assignment needs to change. You got to block this guy. Because that right there, that should be hitting the sideline. That should be a 10-yard gain because the receiver, I don't know that the receiver can come from right here against an inside leverage corner and get his hands on him. That's a lot to ask. And he's frustrated, but you just can't, you're not going to get much out of that. So now we get the little. I love this particular screen. Back in motion. Back comes out to block the corner. Ace screen. Poor throw. If that's thrown well, this is a nice gain to Terry. Put the ball away. Ball security on this team has not been good. So here we have just a little in route. This is a call to in route across the board. He's just reading. You got 2 outs up here, and you got an in here. He's just taking whatever he wants. Does he like this matchup? Does he like that matchup? And this is the hot because you get the blitz right here. They come on the blitz. When the toilet flushes, you hit it right there. Nice play. Even better play by DJ Matthews. Yeah, definitely not DJ Williams. A little difference in body size. And then you get 4th and 1. And thing is, they punch this in. This is got a chance to be really. They get a fourth. They get the 4th and 1 here, and there's a chance this game's over already. But you get a nice double team on both at the point of attack once again on this one technique. Nice job by McKitty, working his way from the end up to the backer. Good work by Patrick, except he just got unfortunate helmet on the ball. This is the one fumble that happened in this game that is a little bit unlucky. Most fumbles are just bad ball security. This is Patrick. I think he had the ball tucked well. Sometimes you're just going to take a helmet to the ball. That was a bit unlucky. So could be a little better, but all right. So now we get a 3 and out again. First drive of the second quarter. Little RPO here where you've got some verticals. Just hand it off. That's fine. You got a friendly box. Better by Eberle getting to the second level here. This is what you want to see right there. And Akers gets about as much out of that as he can. But again, problem here is Arnold. We've already looked at this one. Arnold lets that guy by. So now we're going to skip this drive because we've already seen it. Now we get to drive coming out of the end zone. You got duo here again. And again, you're going to know a lot of times it's duo based on having 2 tights here, H-back and a tight end. 2 doubles. Akers reading the backer, going to wherever the backers aren't. Not a bad run. They've got an extra guy in the box here. I actually think this is best called as an RPO to come to the bottom with the bubble, but they don't have that attached. This is an automatic give. And then they get the Dalvin Cook play here, which we can call that, once again, that little counter tray type thing. Counter lead. And the thing is, this is where one of the differences between Akers at this stage and Cook is. This should have hit for a really big play. This is blocked very well right here. And at this stage, Akers is looking at that seam. But where's your support? Right there. Look at the butt of your wide receiver here. Find your lane here. Instead of trying to turn it up here where the receiver is on the outside position, instead of trying to turn it up here, hit off the butt of your receiver right here and hit your second gear, third gear, start downshifting into drag racer mode to get to the edge right now. Instead, he tries to turn it up too early. And where's the support coming? Right down the alley. You also have support coming from here. And this is where you'd see Cook hit this. He'd recognize this outside leverage position. And instead of hitting vertical, he's hitting here. This guy has no chance of catching you because you're faster than him and you're going this way. This guy is coming inside out, and by the time he hits here and is flattening out, you're probably running by him too. If you get a good block out here, you might score. Instead, tries to turn it up, and has to work his way out, loses all his speed, and instead of a 70-yard run, which you might have with just a little bit smoother vision to get to the outside instead of instead of doing that, he should be right here, right now. Get right there, and all of a sudden you are it's a matter of outrunning this guy's angle, and then it's a score. Maybe. Right? It's amazing how much angles can change with one misstep. But instead you have a, say, 2-yard gain, 3-yard gain instead of a big play. Nice play by DJ Matthews here. It's the same concept that we saw on the previous third down, where they blitzed. Nice catch. Much better execution in this game overall than they'd had. But this is the same protection, by the way, that I just mentioned. So we get the pulling guard off of the power counter action, right? We're looking for maybe that wheel, but you notice there's nobody blocking the edge. Scott steps down. This is a bad call. Some miscommunication happened here, because what has to happen on this one, they've got a 3-man line and 2 potential rushers. You've got help on this side. So the rusher you have to worry about is right here. So what you should be doing is block back with Eberle, which is a long reach. This is a really tough block for a center. He's reaching the 3 technique all the way back here. That's another gap and a half away, right? So two gaps away. A gap, B gap. He's reaching all the way back to the B gap. So you got to snap and get over there. That's really hard for a center. You're getting help from the guard, help from the back here on anything that's coming from the front side. So what you have to do, block back, block back, block back, block back. He's your block back. Scott steps the wrong way. He takes the 3 technique, and they bring the guy off the edge. I thought on my initial watch that was on Francois. I was wrong. When I was watching this game initially, I was, Francois he's responsible for the end guy there. On this protection, that's not true. On this protection, that's on the right tackle. So Eberle gets back. It's tough ask, but Scott needs to be on the end man here. If he is, I think you've got something downfield here. You can't see it, but if you look at what's going on right here, he runs by his coverage guy. You've got him taking the deep guy out. If Francois even now, if Francois gets his eyes right here, this wheel route comes open, but he never has the time for it. So that's on poor communication from the offensive line, and they get that cleaned up later. Little draw here, and this is bad by the offensive line. The guards get bullied. This is Minshew lets the defensive lineman get the straight arm into his throat. Gets bullied back. You're already pretty slow, dude. You can't get bullied too. And so there's just nothing there. That's pretty frustrating. Bold to be throwing out of 3rd and 19 on that. I'd have run the ball here. Run the ball on these pass downs. Don't give yourself a chance to turn it over or to get sacked. And again, they get bullied a little bit here. Not too bad, but this should be safe. This fumble by McKitty, see that ball swinging out there? He doesn't have good pressure on it. You got to have 3 points of pressure. Doesn't have the pressure on it. Gets hit, and that's just bad ball security. And that leads to the first touchdown. They try a little double move there. Here's where we see the touchdown. And this is just really well run. It's 3rd and 7, so you're expecting something to go to the sticks if you're the defensive backs. And this is why this works on Taylor. They're playing off of his aggressiveness here. This is a little sluggo route. Really well run by this corner. Gives him a little move off the line of scrimmage to take inside leverage. He knows he's willing to give up a little bit of inside leverage there. Turns hard, sells the slant. That's what you think he's going to do anyway because it's 3rd and 7. drives on the slant, and it's too late. And this is where Taylor, Taylor's not an elite athlete. He's not a Jalen Ramsey with length or speed. He's not real long, so he's not going to be able to make things up there because of that. And he's probably going to run mid 4.5 at the combine. So he's not going to, hawk everybody down. He's not a 4.3 guy like a Darby who can just run that down. So, he actually Taylor reminds me a little bit in terms of what he brings to the table of Stanford Samuels Jr., the daddy of the current Stanford Samuels on this team. Reminds me a little bit of Boosie because he's a guy that is not as big. He's not as fast in terms of straight speed as the ideal, but he gets by on excellent technique and excellent, just doing the little things well. He rarely gets beat, but unfortunately he's been picked on a little bit on some big plays recently just because teams have just gotten him once. He'll get beat once in an entire game and they've been bad. But again, this is just excellent execution by the quarterback and by the receiver. You got a perfect throw. This route is impeccable. I mean, this is teaching tape stuff from the wide receiver. Whoop. And yeah, that's just really good. So, sometimes that's going to happen. So now we've already looked at this drive. Getting close to done here. We'll look at this last drive of the half. Show a little bit of DJ here. One thing I do like is they did a pretty good job in terms of the jam return here of keeping Northern Illinois from having their gunners down there. So he's making the catch with a lot of room. That's good progress. So you want to see that from your punt team. The hold here is right here, and this is comically bad. Like, dude, at some point you got to let him go. That's Adarius Dent there. He just doesn't want to let him go, and yeah, that's going to hold you back. Can't do that. It's frustrating, but more discipline. All right, so now we get the little 2-minute drill. Throw on first down. Get the little angle route here from the running back. Nicely run by Patrick. Patrick catches it really well, which is why they throw it to him so much. He catches it probably better than any of the other backs. I don't know about that spot. I think he's down. I think that's first down, right? How in the world? Where does he go down? He goes down there. How in the world is that ball back there? They missed that spot by a yard. That's bad. Come on, guys. So now you have zone. Working your way up. It's pretty close to a duo look, but you don't have the extra double team from the tight end. And McKitty gets beat here. Both McKitty and both edges get beat. McKitty gets beat to the inside by that defensive end. That's a tough ask for a tight end on a D end. It's going to get even tougher. You try to ask McKitty to do that against, say, Clemson. That ain't going to happen. Even against Miami, that's going to be... Not sure you're going to want to single block a defensive end with a tight end there. But then you get Bello that gets blown by here as well. And both ends get there. And it doesn't matter because Patrick runs hard. Good play. So you get your first down finally. And this is good a good read by Francois. They're running hitch and goes. Little stutter go. Got a stutter go to Matthews and a stutter go to Gavin. Gavin, stutter go, and I don't like the technique. So if you're going to run the stutter go, that looks like a fake to any good DB. What I want to see, the way I teach this, is he's got not only to stutter here, right? You want to stutter, but turn that head, turn that face mask, because where is he looking? He's trained to look here, but where's he really looking? He's looking right here. Same thing with Matthews. Turn that face mask a little bit, and he does a little better job of selling it here. But turn that face mask back toward the quarterback when you stutter. as Coach Jeff Bowden used to say, give him a little head. And what will happen is he'll see that face mask turn, and he'll start to look for the ball. When you stutter, you don't have to turn your body really. Just turn that head just a little bit. Just throw a little bit of that face mask back toward the quarterback, and you might get a little freer. But he's not able to get over top. DB play here. I'm impressed by the quality of coaching from Northern Illinois' defensive backs coach, because their DBs are really well schooled. Gavin's not able to get over the top. That's the right read and the right throw from Francois. It's just not there. Now you get hitches, and this decision I like. See, he threw the hitch to on the first play. It's the same play as the first play of the game. He basically threw this to Nooney on the first play, but this time you got the deeper cushion. Take the deeper cushion to Gavin. Good. And then what do you get? They got a favorable spot that time because he's down there. That's short. So it evened out. Poor job by the officials both ways. Same all hitches concept. And on this one again, I would prefer throwing to McKitty here. Why even bring this guy into play here? He can make the tackle earlier. Get it out here. It's not that much longer of a throw. Get it out there and let him make an additional move. And, I think you're better off. I think Terry's the guy there against that look, against that cushion. So 2nd and 2. This should have been an illegal motion on Akers, who's coming forward to try to block this corner. And this totally busts this because this is snapped at the wrong time. Francois is late getting the snap out. That ball should be snapped right here. And because he snaps it too late, he's going forward at the snap of the ball. That's a bust. That should be an illegal motion because he's going forward. And this is a bust. This is supposed to be that little screen to Harrison. Instead, you've got the little slip right here to McKitty. And good job by the DB, or the linebacker ripping through the hands. Not the best location from Francois there. And here we see more specialness from the freshman. So this is Harrison, a little tight split. And you're going to get little outs. And this is smooth. Look at that. Nice little move. I'd rather not see the spin because you're often going to fumble it there. Just step back and get there. But here's what's so impressive. He looks like he's out for a Sunday stroll, doesn't he? He's barely running. But he's running away. Right now, look at how much separation he's gotten from the corner or from this DB and then from the guy trailing. He's just... That is it. That is an explosive dude. He is smooth, barely looks like he's running, and is just running away from those guys. This guy's going to need to play more as he figures out this offense and learns what he's doing. He's going to be pretty special. So now we get to the snap over the head, and we're gonna wrap with this. This is Eberle again you've got a big ask here because you've got Minshew who's pulling to this side. Again, you're going to get that action all on the front side. Minshew has to pull on the front side, and Eberle has to reach back all the way to this 3 technique, right? And so then you've got an extra guy to actually help with any extra blitzer here. So you've got tight end and the tackle on the edge. So if he comes, tackle takes him. If he and if he doesn't come, then you're going to double this edge guy. But this is a really long movement for a center. And this is where you're going to see some snap problems on occasion. You're going to see this center snap it and try to get back quickly to all the way across. And he's focused on making the quick twitch movement to get back there. And that's when you sometimes just put a little extra mustard on that snap, and that's what you get. So now there's a bust again, by the way, on the front side here. Scott should not be stepping down. Scott needs to take the end man here. At least I'm pretty sure. Well, Minshew may have him. Yeah, Minshew's actually stepping out to get him. So I'm okay with that. They may actually have had him on there. But Minshew's not going to get to that edge, so it's going to have to be a double between the back and Minshew to actually keep that protection there. So now you got Bello here on the edge. This has a chance to do something in terms of being a touchdown. You know, they've got a decent release here from the tight end, but because you've got the concern about getting to this side, that happens even in the NFL sometimes. You get a center that has to make a big reach or pull or something, and he's got to make an especially explosive step to get into his assignment, and it suddenly the snap, goes wonky, and that's going to happen once in a while. But it can't happen. Got to get better at that. And then nice little field goal from Ricky Aguayo, and we'll go ahead and wrap with that for this this film session. So once again, thanks to those of you who are watching this. Obviously, you are the supporters of this of the podcast and of these film sessions. Feel free to send me any additional questions or any suggestions that you have, and I'll do my best to get to those. But once again, thanks to everybody for watching, and I'll be back again, hopefully to break down a win. But I'll be back again to break down Florida State versus Louisville next week.